Yeah, but what rules are suitable to regarding what beating one's wife? Because we're talking about toxic masculinity and the link between domestic violence and terrorism. Hold on, Nadia. I'm sorry. Let me ask the question, then you can respond. Right. So at the end of the day, when the Quran directly says, "Wallati takhafuna nushuzuhunna fa'idhuhunna wahjuruhunna fil madaji' wadribuhunna." Now I'm going to read to you what that means, yeah? And that's from Surah An-Nisa, the 4th chapter, on the 34th passage. And it says, "And for those women whose disobedience you fear, first admonish them, then part ways with them, and if that doesn't work, beat them. Then if they obey you," it continues, "if they obey you, فَإِنْ أَطَعْنَكُمْ فَلَا تَبْغُوا عَلَيْنَا سَبِيلًا." If they obey you, right? It finishes off, "then do not seek a way against them. Surely Allah is high and great." What context could possibly justify that in today's modern age?
Anybody with common sense would see that the first step you take, okay, if you have problems with a woman or your wife, whoever it is, the first step you take is to discuss with them, okay?
Okay, that's the first step. But the passage goes on beyond that first step, doesn't it? So what about this third step?
What idiot of a man is going to go back after he's separated from his wife and say, "I'm going to teach her a lesson because she's still disobeying me and I'm going to beat her"? So then why is the third step there? Why? Hang on a minute. If that's illogical for a man to do it, why did God prescribe it? Because God's given us steps, just like how he... So the third step, what do you think of that third step, Nadia, where it says beat them? What do you think of that? Just like how he didn't say, in the first instance, that alcohol is haram. Initially, he said, "Do not pray while you are intoxicated." Yeah. Everything comes in stages so that people can use their common sense and their reason. Okay. God has given us. Okay, yep. Secondly... No, before you get to the secondly, answer the firstly. Nadia, whoa! The secondly doesn't matter yet because you haven't answered the firstly. I agree with you. It's got 3 stages. So what do you think of that third stage where it says, "Fadribuhunna," beat them? What do you think of that? It's in the Quran. It's wrong, isn't it? There's a lot of hadiths to support ayahs in the Quran. If one was to go and look at that... I'm going to ask you for a 4th time. Is it wrong that the Quran says husbands can beat their wives? It depends which context you take it in. Okay, which context is it okay for a husband to beat their wife? Never, it's never okay. Well, you just said it depends which context it is. So it is wrong then, isn't it? It depends which context it's saying it, because each translation is different. Oh, no. You and I both know, because I read to you that passage in its full context. We both know it's in the context of a wife not obeying her husband. Do you want me to reread the entire passage for you? There is no out of context quote here. I'm quoting to you that quote in context. It says, "Men are the maintainers of women because Allah has made some of them excel others and because they spend out of their property. The good women are therefore obedient, guarding the unseen as Allah has guarded. And to those on whose part you fear desertion or disobedience, admonish them and leave them alone in their sleeping places and beat them. Then if they obey you, do not seek a way against them. Surely Allah is high and great." Wait, what possible context could justify that passage, Nadia? Somebody. Listen, I've listened to you for how many weeks now? You just quote stuff from the Quran and you just assume that you know exactly what it's talking about. Well, that's why I'm asking you. I'm asking you, Nadia, to answer the correct way. What context could justify that passage? Everything in the Quran is supported by lots of hadiths and ayats about the Prophet Muhammad, his family, how they behaved, how women were respected. Okay, how his own daughter, was one of the highest respecting women in the whole of the Islamic community. I'm not disputing any of that, Nadia. You're going off topic. I know the Prophet. I'm a Muslim. I mean, Nadia, I'm a Muslim, born and raised. I've memorized half the Quran. I've learnt and studied the Arabic language in its classical Arabic grammar form. I know the Prophet married his boss, a woman who was double his age. I know all of this stuff. I'm specifically asking you about this passage. Don't move off the topic. Right? I know that the Prophet gave females, I know he gave them property rights, inheritance rights when they didn't have any. He restricted polygamy when it was unrestricted. I know all of that, right? That's not what we're talking about. I'm asking you specifically, Nadia, what you think of this passage that allows men to beat their wives. Is it wrong? I'm saying it's wrong. Do you think it's wrong? Wrong? Right. So, of course it's wrong, and I told you it's wrong. But at the end of the day, majority of these people that are going around doing these extremely sick things... No, I'm not asking you if it's wrong to beat your wife. I'm asking you if that passage is wrong. In that Quranic passage that I read to you, I'm saying it's wrong, it must be abandoned. What do you think? I cannot agree with you. There we are.
There's the problem. So when we talk about toxic masculinity, even you have just said you can't dispute a passage that allows a husband to beat his wife. That's the problem, Nadia, that is in our community. We've got to start, like Christianity has done and Judaism done, we've got to start being open, frank and honest about these passages and say they no longer apply. This is a despicable thing to say you cannot condemn. It says a husband can beat his wife. That is wrong, and we've got to say that passage has to be abandoned. It has no place in modernity, in today. And I'm frankly quite sick that as a man I'm making that point, because to the nation, you as a Muslim woman should be making that point. Nadia, I'm going to let you get the final say, but we do have to move on, so do respond to that.
After you just spoke over me for about a minute, you're now giving me my chance to say something. So thank you so much for that. At the end of the day, I am the first person who will defend women's rights in Islam.
Oh, wow.
Not to say that what is mentioned about beating women is correct, but there are reasons why things have stages, because it should never get to that stage in the first place.
But sometimes it's okay then.
Secondly, this whole Wahhabi mentality of teaching people out of fear, teaching them women to be suppressed. Okay.
Yeah, well, sorry, Nadia. You can't blame it on one sect. Wahhabism, sorry. You know, you're blaming it on one sect when even you couldn't condemn that passage, and that's the problem we have here. We've got to be able to openly, frankly say that passages like that have no place in our modern discourse, and you couldn't say that as a woman, and that's shameful.